The worst thing you can do in your life is take good advice and place it over God instructions. Bro, I've done it. So believe me when I say you can aspire to do something that God told you to do, and then you can go to look for ways to better yourself, gain more knowledge, grow, have coaching, all that kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. The problem comes in when they give you that and you don't have the discipline or the discernment to go take it back to God and double check that information. Because if God told you to do something and you turn around and take the advice of an expert or a guru or a coach or something like that, and it takes you away from the way that God got you going, which is going to produce the result that He has for you, you're gonna be mad, hot, punching the air, frustrated. It's gonna start seeming like it's declining. Your progress is gonna start seeming like it's halting. You're gonna not be at peace. You're gonna have all this nonsense going on around you. And you wanna know what? After all of that, what you gonna have to do? Go back to square one. You don't have to go back to square one. You have to be like, okay, you know what? I got away from the mission. Let me get back to the mission. Okay, you know what? I got away from the representation of the brand. Let me get back to the representation. Okay, I got away from the steps that God had me to do, or He told me to sit still and I was trying to go do this and do that. He told me this is my message, and then another coach or guru told me, no, it needs to be SEO optimized. No, let God's instructions be ruler of all. Like nothing should go over God's instruction for you. And if you're ever unsure, just take it back to Him, bro. Because what you would hate to do is keep going back to the start and not be able to honestly reach the heights that God has for you available because you took good advice. That's not bad. That's not from the devil. That's not from Satan. That's not demonic. None of that. It was sound and good advice. It's just not what God told you to do. You gotta do what God tell you to do over what somebody else tell you. Now, if He send you a mentor that's giving you your right instructions, great. But again, every piece of advice, good advice that you get towards anything in your life that you got going on, and you got God over the head of your life, you better check with them. Now, there's some people before y'all argue that slip through the cracks, but 99% of us, even as we're slipping through the cracks, you're still going to have that point in time. If it's a God thing, that you're going to have to come back and sit with God and get back in line, get back in order, because the instructions are important. The instructions are there for a reason. The instructions are not just there to guide you, but the instructions are there to be sure that your journey and your progress still integrates God and His glory in the midst. And if you do it all your way, you do it all exactly the coach's way, there's no struggle, there's no any kind of space and place for God to show Himself and get the glory out of it. You're going to end up back at a position where He's going to make sure that this is going to happen, or else it's not going to be the God thing, or else you're not going to make it to the heights. And if you delaying, you're just pushing back further and further. How far you're going to have to go back to start back at the certain point, or how much of the heights He has for you that you're minimizing because of the time you're wasting constantly having to start over. But not because you're not good enough, not because the advice is not sound, because you're just failing to follow the specific instructions He gave you. Don't be goofy and not follow His instructions just because you found some good advice. Okay? Okay. Talking to me and you.